The Guns on Pegs podcast is brought to you by ITAP Group.
Hello and welcome to the Guns on Pegs podcast live. My name is George Brown.
My name is Chris Horn.
And we're here today to celebrate the 100th episode of the Guns on Pegs podcast.
We realised a while back that the 100th episode would fall, provided we muddled it very slightly,
A little creative accounting.
in and around the game fair. We thought, wow, there's an opportunity here. And in the background, there was three very special guys who we're going to intro shortly, who've been beavering away. So the format of today is very different to a normal pod. We're going to celebrate the last 5 years of all the shenanigans that have gone on, some of the crazy moments. We're going to explain, for those that are listening online or haven't, our one friend in the corner who hasn't heard one before, we're going to explain some of the stories and what makes them so great, and just celebrate the last 5 years with some crazy stats along the way, thanks to our guys in the corner.
Well, yeah, so on the subject of stats, I think you probably should introduce our guests.
Do you want to go first?
Okay, so first off, please welcome to the stage bearded Cornishman, Avian Sandercock. Yes, that is his real name.
Give it up, Avian! We've got the nicest man in shooting. Can we have a big hand for Jake Wolf?
And last but very much not least, clay trapper extraordinaire, goat wrangler and all-round good egg, Sam Turner. So in case anybody doesn't know, these three have the dubious honour of hosting every other episode of the podcast with me, and they have also been the ones who have listened back, I think several times, to every single episode of the podcast to date to produce the most extraordinary spreadsheet the world has ever seen. Sam, how was that for you?
Pretty horrendous, to be honest. No, joking aside, shooting for me is all about people, and spending a lot of time with these two, and you guys on the end as well there, it's been good fun, really good fun, and hopefully it'll be interesting.
So the way we like to kick off every single episode is with a round of What's That You're Drinking. So we haven't got a drink. Chris, have you got something for us?
I've been preparing. I'm actually organised, good lord. Okay, so, right, two things. One, firstly, George thinks he's going home tonight. He thinks he's driving back to Hampshire, but what he doesn't know is that I've prepared a spare room in our Airbnb, neatly laid up on the sofa.
You can phone and explain to my wife then.
Not a problem. I'll send a text, it'll be fine. So, George, just to kick things off, I've got the chap, Nick Radcliffe, who runs Fox Denton, came up and said, you won't believe what's flying off our stand. It's some slow whiskey. We love slow whiskey, don't we? So look, get that down in Hatch. I've also been over to the food village over there, and I found something here. I've got a bottle of something. I've actually got two bottles. Of course, I've got two. I have here a bottle of Quinta de Perdigão, 8 hectares, just voted best vineyard in Portugal. This is the best white wine to come out of Portugal in 2023. Because today is a bit of celebration, I thought we'd have something nice.
Talk about yourselves.
The wife of the owner is a famous artist and has painted the label. There's only 7 bottles of this left, so if you go up to the food area, there's a person selling Portuguese wine. There's 7 bottles of this stuff left. Go and grab one. It's a commemorative for the 100th episode.
Are you on a commission?
No, I just thought people would enjoy it because I'm about to.
Right, well, while you pour those, Avian, I think you've been doing a bit of number crunching on the What's That You're Drinking segment.
Yeah, I have. I mean, drink is passionate for me, but sorry to read off the phone a little bit, but I can barely remember my PIN number, so when it comes to numbers I might have to read a bit. So, I mean, the What's That You're Drinking segment has always been the glue that holds the whole podcast together. It's one of those where you can pretty much tell the mood of the guests by what they choose, and sometimes you can actually tell how they're feeling, whether they're feeling rather under the weather or not, and it just really gets the conversations going. So, since its beginnings crikey, 5 years ago, some 341 drinks have been consumed, which would fill very nearly 3 standard British bathtubs. So what we've done in the stats is we've broken those out into 15 categories, from beer to cocktails, hot drinks to mocktails, medicinal to fortified, and of course, a category all of its own, supermarket lager. Now, in true Guns on Peg style, hard drinks have romped home with 306 drinks to a rather meek showing of 35 for soft drinks, and that was mostly tea.
And Lemsip.
That comes later. Lemsip features. But by a fair stretch, the most popular category was beer, with over 82 various beers, IPAs, ales, bitters and lagers consumed. But stand out, look at that. There's graphs and everything.
For those online, there's actual graphs.
There are graphs.
Supermarket lager, beers and
So by far and away the standout favourite drink of the pod has been the gin and tonic, and we've had 32 appearances of G&T, and delighted as an ex-gin maker to say that there were 21 different gins represented in that 32 G&Ts. We've got other graphs.
Another
This
sort
is
of graph.
amazing.
I've
They've
used
let you
every
loose-
kind of chart I could find.
They've let you loose with the Max crayons.
Is this an AI job?
No, I did this myself.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
They say that cheating people shouldn't drink too much when they're up, should they?
But how much is too much?
Could move on.
Okay, move on. So, out of the 306 alcoholic drinks, 44 were neat spirits, George. 34 of those were whiskey, George.
I've honestly only ever had one. All 33 of those are yours.
Pretty much.
You've got a problem, mate.
Yeah, 30 of them were sea
Working with you.
George. And George, 7 of those were Aberlour. Although we've got no way of knowing how many bottles George had to go through to make up that 7.
More than 7.
Good man.
Just for the record, you've drunk more than 7 bottles of Aberlour since 2020.
Yeah.
Now, supermarket lager itself, that was featured 17 times. And I'm pleased to say that the pod's favourite lager from the high street is Estrella, although we did have one Stella Artois sort of creep under the fence.
And Mr. Carter.
It was Mr. Carter. Now, mentioned Lemsip earlier. So our stalwart and hearty team have, on occasions, been a little under the weather, and they've claimed it was either bad humours or a virus or something. But there have been 6 appearances of purely medicinal libations. Amongst the Nurofen and cough syrups, Barocca and Hot Toddy tied for the #1 position. And yes, I am treating whatever hard liquor was in the Hot Toddy as purely efficacious and for medicinal reasons only. So a happy band has consumed 26 wines. Out of those, 14 reds, 5 whites, 4 rosés, 3 champagnes, and one of those was a Magnum no less, and a further 3 fortified wines. We're clearly a traditional bunch. It was great to see homemade drinks make a strong appearance, and I think the solid 11's favourite of slow gin featured very prominently. And as George said on a recent episode, if you don't make slow gin, you should. There you go. So cocktails were also well received, and yes, a G&T is a cocktail, technically. But taking even the G&Ts out, there were 33 cocktails, proving we like our cocktails slightly more than we like our wines. So solid classics in the cocktails were the Rusty Nail, Old Fashions, Martinis and Whiskey Mac, and the rather racier, we had a Flirtini, a few Boulevardiers, and the Queen Mum's favourite, Gin and Dubonnet, added a little depth to our list.
Genuinely one of the best drinks in the history of the bar.
I am now
The comeback of the gin and Dubonnet needs to occur.
It's fantastic.
I can't remember what a Flirtini is.
I think it's got mango or something in it. Sounds
Like you probably know.
That sounds awful. Sounds awful. But there is a bit of a but in there. And Chris, I have to turn to you and ask what the absolute hell was going on. Because going through the stats, not 1, but 2 scorpions made it onto the list, which for those of you that don't know is something awful with banana milkshake.
Banana milkshake, white rum.
And one of those you made with chocomel.
That was a bad day, yeah.
And you also mixed chocomel with King's Ginger.
I thought I was onto something.
Yeah.
By the way, don't try it. I
Us
thought it would come out all Christmassy, but
three think we might need an intervention.
you don't try, you won't succeed.
But seriously, guys, what's been absolutely wonderful trawling through all the stats on the drinks is really how many individual drinks have come through. We've had over 150 solo appearances of drinks, and quite a lot of those have been homegrown. So just in finishing, I'd like to say to everyone, support your local booze makers. There's some bloody wonderful hooch out there.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Avian. Well done.
Big hands to Avian.
And a Stilby wine. There you go. Schoolboy hour.
And on that note, cheers. Enjoy it. Oh, it's gone.
That was spilled.
I spilled it. There's another bottle there for you.
The next segment in the podcast is always Whose Bird Is It Anyway? And there's no two ways about it. Shooting is a funny old enterprise. It's steeped in traditions, it's littered with unwritten rules and bear traps to catch out the unwary. And ever since Season 2, Episode 1...
Whose bird is it anyway? It was a thing. It was your idea, you know.
Was it?
Yeah. Shooting quandries, queries, dilemmas, and we thought what good fun it would be to get people to send in those situations that occur on shoot days or before or after, or syndicate awkwardness. And the shooting community has excelled itself with this one. We've had some hilarious moments.
We have. In fact, we often joke that What's That You're Drinking is my favourite segment of the podcast, but actually the truth is I love this one the most, because I think it really gets to the heart of what makes shooting such an interesting world to be part of. It surfaces so many of those stories that would otherwise be confined to the gun bus or the shoot room of the shoot on which they took place, and I think it's really fun to bring those into a wider audience. And we've always tried to capture the spirit of those chats that happen on the gun bus, like you said before. So I think for me, this segment embodies most what the podcast is all about.
In total agreement with you. This is where the best discussion of the pod, and actually when people come up to us at the game fair and they say a particular scenario, it's nearly always out of this segment. So go on, George, have you got a favourite?
I have, and actually it's a really early example. It's from Season 2, Episode 3. Our guest was... And this was the first time I was properly starstruck on the podcast as well. Our guest was former England cricket captain David Gower. It was that episode when I sprayed champagne all over the ceiling of my bedroom.
Hold on, so you were starstruck. This was quite early on. It was still COVID time. Yeah, because you were not only starstruck because you're a big cricket fan. George was sitting in his bed, half under a duvet, trying to get good sound, spraying champagne at the ceiling of his bedroom on the phone to David Gower.
Yeah, it was quite a surreal experience. So the correspondent for this, I was still doing names alphabetically.
Okay.
And the correspondent was Charlie. He asked us the following. Before lockdown, I was invited to shoot with my fiance's family on their estate for the first time. As luck would have it, I was drawn next to my future father-in-law. Of course, I was on my best behaviour, minding my P's and Q's, being especially selective about which birds I shot and erring on the side of caution when birds flew between him and me, thinking that this would score me some brownie points. Unfortunately, my future father-in-law seemed to have different ideas. All day he was shooting, I would even say poaching, birds that were more or less straight over me, and even between me and the next gun. Now, I'm not averse to a little light-hearted poaching among friends, but he seemed totally oblivious to what he was doing. Naturally, I refrained from saying anything, but right at the end of the final drive, I decided that enough was enough, and that I needed to assert some dominance. A lone cock pheasant broke from cover and made a beeline straight for the gentleman. Visible to the entire line and hangers-on, including my fiancée, her mother and brothers, every eye was on the pheasant. I waited for the perfect moment just as my future father-in-law was about to mount his gun and shot the pheasant, the bird folding and dropping a few yards in front of him. If looks could kill, the one he gave me would have had a similar effect to a 36-gram 4. Was I within my rights to have shot that pheasant, or should I have reined myself in?
That's what the pod's about.
That's exactly what it's all about.
Can we have a bit of verdict? Who wants to give an opinion on this scenario? Is there anyone who feels like they might have been even close to this before? Had an awkward moment perching someone's bird? There must be someone out here. I want an opinion on this person. Did they do the right thing, yes or no? Can I have a show of hands? Yes, okay. Right, hold on. If you'd been in this scenario, right? One back a few years. If you've been in this scenario, talk to me about the mindset you must have been in and what you'd expect him to do thereafter.
Suck it up.
Fair verdict.
You're going to get combative, aren't you, at that point? But enough is enough, and you've got to put them in the box and prove that you're right.
We all know a few of those old boys who get quite excited about it and get a bit too full for their boots and need bringing down a peg or two, but maybe future son-in-law step too far?
Set the tone. Can I ask, do you have daughters, sir?
2.
It all becomes clear.
Got one other opinion on this?
If it had missed, it would have been a step too far.
That's the point.
Ooh.
Well pointed out.
Because he killed it, then, oh look.
To be fair, if he'd missed, that would have been
quite bad.
super awkward, wouldn't it? Actually, I'm with you. That settles it. You're absolutely right.
Well, so I listened back, and David Gower made the very important point that this gentleman had probably been doing that for decades, and that all of the other people in the line were probably quite pleased that he'd done it. Put him back in his box a bit.
I think you're right. Yeah. I'm really glad you just said that, because that's what it's all about. If you're going to poach, do not miss.
Yes. I was shooting at home last year, a final drive of the day, and a flush of partridges went over the rest of the line. I was at number 1, really only spectating. Everybody missed. And I shouted, "You lot are rubbish," at the top of my voice. 10 seconds later, the partridge went straight over my head and I missed it with both barrels.
Can we make a new pod rule here? If you're going to poach, hit. Absolutely acceptable. Fine. Good lad. Top shot. If you poach and miss, dickhead.
I think you only tell the story if you hit, though, don't you? You don't tell the story if you miss.
And if you poach and prick it and cause a runner, you're picking up for the rest of the season.
That sounds, to me, like an unpopular opinion. How about that for a link?
You've done this before. The next segment, when did Unpopular Opinions come out? It's quite some time later.
It was a bit later, I can't really remember.
But sometime later, Unpopular Opinions started getting sent in to us. I think that might have just been because you didn't like what someone said once, and so we made a segment. Unpopular Opinions started getting sent in. They don't really need any explanation, but because we were having guests on, it was quite enjoyable to just put them on the spot and say, "What do you reckon?"
Yeah.
And they would get all nervous and flustered and think they were on something professional and not know what to say. But Jake, you've been crunching on this one?
Yeah, just a bit. And ladies and gentlemen, I hereby call the most noble order of the Garters, long-term listeners and esteemed guests to order. Will Livesey and Abel please join us on stage? Up you come, gentlemen. Come on. Right.
Livesey and Abel up to the stage.
We are here to adjudicate on a crime most vile. Gentlemen.
He's brought up a bottle of Port Roger.
He's trying to curry favour with the jury, is what he's trying to do there.
What are you hoping for?
He's celebrating.
Can I have a glass? He's got an empty glass, I'll take that.
So, Chris, while your drink is being filled...
That was really nice white wine you just poured. Anyway, thank you very much.
Split the room now.
Right, let's call this back to order. You chaps all got a drink? Do we?
He's just taken my glass.
Drink the slow whiskey. Okay, Chris, for the benefit of everyone that's listening here and online, will you please remind us all about what happened?
So the original story that Livesey sent in, he said something quite simple actually. It was very straightforward, perfectly good discussion point. He said, you can have a proper traditional day's shooting without alcohol. It got some debate. It's not that straightforward. It got some debate. But it turned out, the point is, it wasn't his opinion that he'd sent in. So the story developed. Jake?
I think we'll all agree that it's perfectly reasonable, isn't it? You know, you can have a dry day and it's fine, but someone here decided to steal it. George, can you refresh our memory?
There's more to it, wasn't there? Because I think not only did Livesey pinch the idea from his brother and claim it as his own when he sent it in, but then a short while later, when he was supposed to be loading for his brother, he actually shot more drives than his brother. So I think that sort of compounds the crime, don't you?
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's just shocking. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the kind of behaviour that makes you question someone's right to actually own a pair of the most noble order of the Garters,
Now,
isn't it?
we just need to add at this point that garters aren't actually owned, they're simply borrowed from the Garterati. I've just made that up. But I think that's
Good, yeah, I like it.
So, with that in mind, if this was a jury, that's not a very fair sort of prosecution and defence. We basically just laid him out to slaughter.
It is a bit of a kangaroo court. I'll try not to fall off the stage here. So, Livesey, in your defence, what do you have to say?
I can only claim one thing. PTSD.
PTSD. Okay, so would you do it again?
Yes.
Quite simple. Okay, and oh right, well, no. How many drives did you poach when you were loading for your brother on that 300 bird day?
1.5.
I heard 2. So this isn't bearing well for you.
For those online, behind his head, his brother was holding 2 fingers up.
Okay, right, and then to carry on with the other part, who really came up with the dry idea first? Maybe we'll ask Abel.
Jake, you were actually there that day, so you are our witness.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, 100%. This was on one of my days. Right, so have you got anything to add?
It's all about stolen valour. He has stolen the valour. It's not his.
Well, guys, I think this is getting a little bit...
Jake, I need to stop you, please. You never asked what PTSD is.
Go for it.
It's post-traumatic sibling disorder.
Ah, very good indeed.
So having been the older brother of the pair...
Well, I think we need to do a proper jury vote here. We've got a captive audience.
Sorry, George, before you go on. When I shot on the drive, my brother wasn't handing me his gun, he was handing me my gun. So he incited me shooting because he wanted my gun to shoot with. So he was actually giving me my gun back.
Your gun, my bag.
My gun.
There's never been a scenario where someone's been on stage at the game fair, put to a public jury.
Absolutely. So
this is a first. I like it.
So I think, right, the first thing we've got to do now, chaps, is by the power vested in me, those glasses have to come off. So I'm sorry, they have to come off. And
No, hold on. You might win them back. But right now, they're going to be put back to a vote. So can we have them off your legs, please? Not too high with that.
Not
Will.
too much far. So,
There you go. Hold those.
ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Livesey stands accused of behaviour unbecoming of a member of the most noble order of the Garters. If you think he is innocent of the charge, give me a cheer.
Hold on, you've got a friend. If he is guilty of the charge, can we have a cheer, please?
I think that's fairly conclusive.
It's fairly well said. However, so what we're going to do now is hand your garters to your brother. But, wait.
So this is ceremonial, brother to brother.
Yeah, he's literally...
He's tying them all down the divorce for Livesey. Oh, this is brilliant.
Oh, fantastic. There we go. One on.
You could have tied them really tight, cut the circulation off and...
Because we're just nice people, and what you're about to receive now is in way of punishment, but also in a way that we never really let one of our own down. So, you have an opportunity to redeem yourself, and you will get a set of garters once you repay your brother on a 300 bird day. Until then, you will be wearing these garters, and for...
So being handed to Livesey is some really obnoxious pink Baylor twine.
Wait, Jake, did you make those? Wow, there's a man who works
I've never
with
seen
horses.
Baylor twine like this. Look at that.
You see, what you don't realise is that I will wear those till the end of my days.
You now are in a club of one with the most exclusive set of garters in history, and I'm not really actually too happy about that. But anyway,
They're quite good.
I'm in it for the role.
yeah. You shall remain. Ladies and gentlemen, big hand, Livesey and Abel.
Court adjourned.
Very good, thank you guys. So, the final segment of the pod, you all know, is desert island shooting. This has taken many twists and turns over the years, actually.
It has actually, yeah. Because when we first started, we were sort of using the conceit that shooting was about to be banned. And hence you had to come up with your last day ever.
We used to have a couple of emails in saying this is all very doom-mongery. I don't really
Which I know who it was who sent it.
I know who sent the original. Avian came up with an absolute blinder of a bit of correspondence. Was that the first we knew of you? It's the first time? Okay, grab a microphone. You can intro the part of the pod that you actually came up with. Can you remember what it is?
No. I'm gonna drop it. I told you I couldn't even remember numbers. Words are tricky too. That's good wine. Read off there we go.
He's left his point.
Oh, read that. No, it's so the extinction level event asteroid hits tomorrow.
George is drinking porridge air from the bottle. Carry on.
Your loved ones and enemies are reconciled. The dogs are fed, and the tomatoes are watered. Your last day's shooting begins how?
Yeah, I just thank you for one of the best bits of correspondence ever. That was the brilliant addition to this part of the pod. Over to you, Sam.
Yeah, so Desert Island Shooting was born in the second season of the podcast, and it changed its name to Avian's suggestion in episode 64 to become the Asteroid Day. George, there was a little brief interlude where you decided it was going to be due to a terrible medical diagnosis, which was still a little bit negative, wasn't it? So we so they went with Avians.
It must have been a bad week.
It must have been, yeah. And I did always wonder, Ave, is there any point in watering tomatoes the day before the asteroid hits?
Watering tomatoes makes you happy. We'll go with it.
It does, yeah. Whatever we decide to call it, the goal remains the same, to find out how the guests would spend their last day in the field. And without sounding too romantic about it, it's one of deep personal preference as a guest, and something we never felt we could criticise too much, but we could analyse it. It does seem to be the case that home is where the heart is. The majority of guests decided to do something they'd done before, often with close friends and family who they shot with before. 74% of trips weren't venturing out of the UK, and 84% stayed within the boundaries of Europe. 6 out of the 7 continents were covered, and I think Ross Ewing didn't specify a location for his clay shoot on HMS Queen Elizabeth. So if we could do that in Antarctica, we'd cover all 7. Yeah, that's good.
My map doesn't even show Antarctica.
There's a map behind us with pins that people have visited. There's a lot more pins than that over the 300 episodes that happened. Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't enough space for all the pins in Scotland.
It was England did just edge it over Scotland, but it was very much UK based. Grouse was our favourite quarry, just edging it over the pheasant. Partridge not too far behind, which I suppose we should expect from a game shooting podcast. Look at that pie chart.
There's a big pie chart behind it. It says grouse 15.5%, pheasant 14.3%, and there's basically anything else that's ever flown, swam.
Yeah, you see the other. Other is 13%, look. And those are all the others.
Seagull?
At Cricketon Pheasant.
Which includes a mammoth.
That was Simon Reinhold, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Very good. Catching something on the fly was very popular for a shooting podcast, with 23 fish set to be caught in the fin category. 24 if we count Ollie Williams' crocodile as fin, although he wanted to use a 375 double rifle, not a 9'5" weight. So
a crocodile on the fly would be quite exciting.
Definitely excited, yes. But you'd want to have the rifle as a backup.
You need quite a big fishing rod.
Yeah. Guns on Pegs aviation services are used 33 times. That's helicopter and aeroplane, which I think was subsonic at times.
Time travel existed.
Time travel existed. Time travel was used on 22 occasions. Reggie Crofts holds the award for most fuel burnt because he, and I quote, was going to use helicopters like quad bikes. And Simon Reinhold was putting the most miles on the DeLorean as he goes back over 4,000 years to complete his mammoth hunt. We've had some fairly expensive trips, as you would imagine. the aforementioned trip on HMS Queen Elizabeth wouldn't be cheap, nor would hiring Balmoral for the day. I struggled to work out the cost of hiring Balmoral. It's not on Airbnb or Booking.com. No.
It's not a Guns on Pegs either.
It's not. Why not? I guess it's the case of knowing the right people, which I unfortunately don't. So we've probably got to rule that one out. The aircraft carrier, based on general operational costs, is around £900,000 a day. That's with a full mission package, air wing and escorts.
Is that it?
Well, plus plays and cartridges.
Okay.
And I don't know how many we were going to shoot. And I didn't know we were going to Antarctica, so that might be a bit more fuel, but we'd ballpark £1 million maybe. I don't know.
100 grand of plays and cartridges.
Well, and a bit more fuel as well. Okay. I don't know how much they drink. They're probably more thirsty than the Range Rover.
Only just.
Hopefully more reliable.
Anything is, mate. Anything is. But it's actually Mr. Oliver Preston who wins this game of Top Trumps, because closing London for the day so he can fly pheasants from St James's to Hyde Park would cost around £575 million. With the effects on GDP taking that up to a whopping 1.7 billion. And that's before he's jetted off to Switzerland to shoot 20 guns on a mountain drive swept by St Bernards.
Is that standing 8 or standing 10?
He stand as many as there's like what?
You're definitely doing a GOP day for that, aren't you? That's an order of the gun of 20 guns.
A £1.6 billion shoot days. That's impressive.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these members of the Most Noble Order of the Garter Tower here, and I'm seeing hands there on it. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That aside, we've had some notable guests requested on these shoot days. Churchill, Hemingway, Lord Ripon, Peter Scott, Jim Corbett, Mr. George Digweed, a full team of cricketers with David Gower, who spoke about earlier, and even the late Queen Elizabeth on the picking up team in there. Chris, you featured on a couple, but I think you're only shooting on one and you were loading on the other?
Was that Crofty who put me loading?
Crofty had you loading, and
But George hasn't
James.
featured on one.
No one wants me.
Not yet. Not yet. Come on. But I think no matter what extravagant days are planned, and we do love listening to them, it's nostalgia that always rules on these ones. Bag size is rarely mentioned, whereas the company for the day is always specified, often by name. Personal favourites of mine, I don't know about you guys, George Ponsonby wanted to have all his past Labradors with him, which I thought was really nice.
Really lovely touch.
Lovely touch, yeah.
And I'd also like to go shooting Accrington pheasants with Ricky Maloney.
Remind us what they were.
Shitehawks. Seagulls.
Seagull.
Accrington pheasants.
Thank you very much, Sam. That was great. And thank you, Jay, Avian, Sam, not only for being my co-hosts when Chris can't be asked to show up, but for doing all the digging into that data, looking after the spreadsheet, and for being such important parts of the whole Guns on Pegs podcast community. What are you doing?
I've just decided.
He's gone off script, people.
We've got a couple of minutes. I'm going to do a quick audience desert island shooting. I'm going to go round up a row, and I'm going to get them to make it up. The next one has to follow, the previous one. This could be, this is work in progress, all right? 1 second. Right. So we're starting with location.
Okay, yep.
Right. Your name quickly?
Woody.
Woody, where are you going?
Staying in Suffolk.
Steph. Staying in Suffolk. Right, you've got to get creative. What are you going to shoot in Suffolk?
The pheasants, I suppose.
Okay, we're on a pheasant day in Suffolk, right? We started, this is very tame considering. Who are you going to take with you on this pheasant day in Suffolk? Get creative.
Oh, well, it's got to be George, hasn't it?
Of course. You've already got cartridges, you don't even have to buck me up.
We need some more guests for this day in Suffolk. Apart from George, let's go bigger than George. Princeton, move on. Carry on. Right, the Queen's in the picking up team. We chose Prince Philip. Can we have another guest to go on this shoot day in Suffolk?
Churchill.
Nice. He's featured before. Someone else to add to the shoot day in Suffolk. Show.
It's got to be the Guns on Pegs team. Great team today.
You've just nearly filled up the line. Well done, Sheldon. All right, couple more guns to the shoot day in Suffolk.
Grandfather.
Your grandfather. What a kick he's just landed. Last gun.
Late father.
Okay, we've got two late fathers. That's the first drive. We're quickly jetting off and we're going to
Northern Scotland.
Northern Scotland. What are we going to do in Northern Scotland?
Shoot squirrels.
Nice. Not brick squirrels.
I'll hail Reza.
Who's going to be dray poking for you?
The wife.
Right, after we've been dray poking in Scotland by this chap's wife, where are we going to? You got any means of travel? Where do you want to go?
I want to go to Morocco.
Okay, to Morocco. What are we doing?
Sand grouse.
Oh, I like this.
Nice.
Who's going shooting sand grouse with you in Morocco?
Everyone this time.
Oh, everyone's invited. Oh, look, my dad. Right, last place we're going to. Dad, where are we going?
South Africa, I think.
In South Africa, what are we doing?
Oh, Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Okay, nice. What gun are you using?
Natural 500.
Nice. And then, when we've finished up this day's shooter, you're going to recap this over. You won't even know.
What? No.
We are going to celebrate the end of the day with everyone in this tent, with Churchill, with Prince Philip, with a couple of grandfathers, and we're going to go somewhere for something. Tell us where we're going.
Eiffel Tower.
I like this. Eiffel Tower. And in the Eiffel Tower, we're going to do what? Yes.
Nice. You come in.
Do you want anything to eat with your Abalawa? Brisket sandwiches, Abalawa, and then because it's a big shindig and the last day ever, we're going to go out really, really late. Where are you going?
Moulin Rouge.
Nice. There you go. Team effort.
Big man with balls.
Very good. I like that. Well done.
That's not going on the spreadsheet.
That half worked.
Yeah, well, that was good off the cuff stuff, Chris.
Thank you.
You've got to do this last bit.
Do I? What do I need to say?
You've got to say that.
No, actually, to be fair, I was going to say this anyway, but we do need to thank everyone for this. This has been, actually, these moments here over the last few years have been particularly important for us. This kind of makes this whole gig full together.
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, when we started this podcast, I don't think we ever thought we'd be sitting here 100 episodes later in a room full of like-minded souls, laughter echoing off the walls. But I think more than all the jokes and the garters and the drinks and the dubious opinions, what has really carried this podcast forward is you guys, all of you here in this room, everyone who comes on our podcast shoot days, everyone who writes in, all the contributors, the guests, all those people who just listen when they're out walking the dog or driving to a shoot day, all that sort of thing.
It is quite ridiculous, and I've had so many lovely comments from people who've come up over this weekend. Actually, on that note, I must just do a quick shout out. There's a number of sporting agents who've come up this weekend and said the number of times I've listened to your pod at like 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, driving from somewhere ridiculous to somewhere ridiculous, and they've said just honestly really lovely things. They didn't need to say them, but I can't tell you how much it means for us to hear that, because it's only a joke, and it's brought together this lovely community. And I think it's demonstrated one absolutely key point. Shooting's got nothing to do with birds or bag sizes or anything like that. It's about the fun that we have together, the people, the crack, the night before, the night after, the 11s, the gun bust stories. And I think that's what's super, super important to all remember. The moment we forget that, we're absolutely toast.
Yeah, it is all about the sense of humour and the ribbing and the tall tales, and I think somehow, more by luck than judgment, we've built something that encapsulates that. Well, I say we. You guys have all helped us to build something that encapsulates that.
100 episodes down. Another 100?
Yes, so far.
Do it. So, thank you. I'm going to steal your part, by the way.
Yeah, you're not allowed to. I just want to say thank you so much to everyone for coming along today. It really does mean the world to us. Thank you for being part of the podcast and for supporting us. We will be back in a couple of weeks' time with another episode. But until then, thanks very much for listening, and goodbye.
Hold on, we're actually doing a read.
We're doing a retake.
For those online, this is awkward, isn't it? We've done 2 re-records in our life. We once went down to Gloucestershire. I think we might have told this story once before, but I'm going to tell it for a second. We once went down to Gloucestershire with Ben Hughes.
Yeah.
He'd organised a really lovely day. George and I bought some steaks, bought some really lovely red wine, drank all of that and Ben out of house and home, then decided to record a pod. Bad idea. Did you turn it on?
I turned it on and then it ran out of batteries almost immediately. And we didn't notice.
We spoke
for an hour and a half.
Hour and a half. At the end of it, he's like, shit, it's run out of battery. Anyway, I was like, I wonder how much you got. Maybe you got nearly all of it. He texted me the next morning, I've got 8 minutes.